So I haven't done one of these in a while. Today in the fort, I couldn't do my normal entrance because if you notice, I'm only wearing one boot and I've got the death sticks here. Long story short, had surgery, then the suture got infected, so I'm back to square one. At any rate, I was watching a video this morning, and I'll put a link in the description to the video I watched, where a big boy helped push a train up the hill. And I thought, you know what? That's cool. Let's try to mount a proper Kadee coupler to the front of my MTH big boy. So this thing spins around right here and it exposes a coupler. Now I don't know if I'm going to be able to have that option to spin around with a Kadee, but height-wise, it looks like it's pretty good. So what we're going to do is unhook the tender, and we're going to bring the big boy over here to the workstation. We're going to flip it over. I got a garbage can here ready to go to catch any smoke fluid that may drip. And then while she's upside down, isn't it a dude if it's a big boy? Let's call him he. While he's upside down, I might as well pull my lubrication out here from my travel toolbox and lube up everything that moves. So should be a fun video. All right, I got him over here. It's been a while since I've actually had to pick this engine up to move it. I forgot how heavy it was. So that was interesting. My biggest issue is when you pick it up, the MTH, I don't like the way the front sags. So that's why I have the travel box, and that's why he stays parked in his own parking spot. So at any rate, I want to get this thing over a little bit so any smoke fluid that's in there is going to drip out. And I think I'm going to just try and roll them into the notch. So here we go. And a little bit further. Okay. Oh yeah, lots of fluid coming out. We'll bring you in a little bit closer, see what's going on. All the moving parts that need to get lube. Pretty well lubed up, but still maintenance is maintenance. And you can see here, I actually have the coupler wired closed because it would kind of flop out. So one of the reasons why I flipped this over is I got to get that wire off so I can flip it around and see what sort of Dr. Hack and Slash we have to do in order to install a coupler. So we got some drippy going on down there. There's my leftover lunch. So I guess maybe we'll lube it up first. Here's the lubrication that I'm using. 100% synthetic lubricant. I found it on Amazon. 4 ounces is like, I mean, the only reason why it's that low is because I spilled it at one point. This is like a lifetime supply, even for all of these engines up here. So we're gonna fire it up and lube it up. Since this isn't really what this video is about, well, I mean, I guess it could be. I mean, it's not rocket science to clean hairs and whatever you see, it shouldn't be here, like a little stick stuck in there. I'll grab tweezers and pull all that crap out. But it's not rocket science to put a little dab of lubricant on every moving part. So let's speed this up. So yes, I lubricate all of the linkage, even though it obviously isn't functional, but I still want it lubricated so it moves smoothly. We don't want anything to hinder the operation. It's not like a real train engine where this is actually running the drive wheels, folks. So anyway, speed it up. Okay, we're all lubed. We'll just work it in a little bit here. Everything looks good. I'm gonna get that wire off the front and then start investigating a coupler. I take a vote, put something in the comments. You see that duck on there? Yeah, that's a GP9. You know, everybody calls them Jeeps. Well, my wife has a Jeep. It gets ducked all the time. So I wonder, can I put ducks on all my Jeeps? I mean, will my GP38 deserve a duck? What about the GP7 over there? And the various other Jeeps up here, GP40s. I mean, come on. Should they all get ducks? Let me know. Anyway, I'm going to move the big boy over here to this table so I can look at the front end of it a little bit better. This table is here for a whole nother project, a whole nother video. Well, I thought I had a single 907 by itself, but I don't. So we're going to get into the parts bin here. See what we can use. Well, I've got some knuckleheads here. You see the size difference. Now, I don't think that I'm going to be able to close this back up. Once the coupler is installed, I will cut the hose off the bottom. I mean, I suppose it's possible. This does swivel by itself first and then get closed in. But boy, the size of that coupler right there is already close, right? So I've still got some wire hanging around in there that I need to pull out. So I don't think I want to use one of these. I would rather use one that looks like this. So we'll see what I got in the pile here. I got all kinds of stuff. My cars, I put 906s on, slack action, in out, in out. And on engines, we put 907s. So, I don't know, we'll see what we got here. Well, first things first here, we gotta lay them on the side, get the screw out that holds that in. There it is. There's our tiny little coupler versus, something like that. Okay. That knucklehead was on there. Setting in to where the stock thing is. It's almost just about perfect. Rides a little bit high, which would mean shaving down this little nub right here. But the good news is I still think we'll be able to use the stock screw. This is really, really close to almost getting in the right position. So I might choose a different coupler, something with a longer neck to try to get in there. I don't think that I have anything with a longer neck. I don't want to get into to start modifying the actual engine itself here. I don't want to do too much. This, I don't have a problem with trimming. It's not like I ever plan on getting rid of this engine anytime soon. So, I don't think that a 906 would be appropriate. You know, this is a 906 gauge with slack action. However, the 906 neck itself is longer. Ooh, I'll be back. All right, I got myself a package of 906 here. These have been modified already. Don't run away, springs. We don't want to lose you. So you can see the hose, if you will, has been cut off. But look how long that neck is. That could easily be modified to, you know, get in just right. So if that, actually, let me see if that's resting right there on there, about level. That's really, really close to the right height. But it looks goofy sticking all the way out like that. I think it does. So we're going to shave this off right here on the bottom, this part. Let's see if we can slide it in a little bit further. All right, I just used a Dremel to shave that smooth. That goes in that far. I'd like to go in a little bit farther. I'd like to get it just a little bit closer. Obviously, still have some swivel to it. But let's check that height again. See if I can hold that. Oh yeah, okay, hold that. Yeah, it's a little low. So if it was sitting on top of that, this is the hard part, you know. I still have to come up with the engineered 3-arm man. All right, that's sitting on top. It's hard to hold it level. Sitting on top of that little nub. That's just about perfect. Okay, so it looks like got to drill a hole roughly right around here, the size of this screw. Now I'm going to show you a little tool I have. It's really, really cool. Yeah, you can hold a drill bit right up next to this and try to get the right size. But let me go grab that. Hold on. Okay, here it is, the drill gauge. All I got to do is see which one works the best. So it looks like 1/8. So drill an 1/8 inch hole in there and see what happens. All right, so a little something that I teach in my classes that I'll just pass on to you guys. This is the size drill bit we need. That's an 1/8 inch drill bit. I have it loaded into a pilot bit. But if you drill a pilot hole with something much smaller, the end result with the size hole that you need will be better and more accurate. So, and a cleaner cut. So instead of starting with the 1/8 inch drill bit and potentially screwing up the location that I need this, which is right at the cross section here, I'll be able to drill with this tiny little bit and then use the size I need. You could use that in any application. See if this fits. Yes, perfect. Okay, we're going to screw that in just for the moment, see what it looks like. All right, she's in. It's floppy and it moves up and down, but what I want to check is, and the clearance is just, I mean, if I would have been a millimeter further this way on the hole, it would have been scraping on the cow catcher, but it's perfect. So obviously you can see that there's no way that this is going to fold back in. But I will try to reincorporate this piece of the cow catcher to make it look like it's, you know, open and where it's supposed to be. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's see how we are on height. I would say that we're pretty darn good. Here, let's move this up a little bit and not bump into the camera. That little bit of height that's off is, I think, negligible. Although, if we reincorporate this thing back in here, that little part that's on the bottom might be the perfect thickness shim. Well, this is turning out to be really awesome. We're going to cut off all this crap because, well, we don't want it. All right, I think that's pretty good. I want to leave enough meat there. Obviously, part of the reason why I want to do this is I want to be able to do a lash up. I do have friends that have other big boys that if we go to RLD and they bring their big boy, we'll be able to do a lash up. I have no problem being not in the front. So let's see here. We don't really have to take a whole lot. I don't know if they can see that there, but if that's rested on there, it's only probably a 32nd of an inch. And then we need to make sure, and it looks like I got enough swivel there with what I've taken off. Remember, I don't want to take the bottom off. I want to take the top off because I think that shim will be perfect. So I'm just gonna push it down on here. Oh yeah, we have great alignment. All right, let's go put this back on the big boy. Well, I think it's just about perfect. I mean, it could come up just a frog's hair, but and you'll see it does have a little bit of movement, obviously more one way than the other, and we'll never be able to close it how it's supposed to be, but I'm okay with that. So next question is do I try and spring load this somehow? Sorry, the sun in the winter just comes right through this window and blinding me. Anyway, I think I'm gonna flip it back over and see what I can do about spring loading it, just so it stays center. One more thing, after going through all this and seeing that I could have left or used one that still had the hose on there, because it will clear, I might swap this out now. All right, so I've just used a pair of linesman's pliers to grip onto the bottom of the pin, or the hose, if you will, in quotes, and I'll replace it with something from over there. Well, I'm not sure why or what has changed, but all of a sudden the knuckle is sloppy in this cow catcher piece. So I found a little washer, should be able to make it up. Okay, so this ought to be fun. We want it on the bottom. Oh, I gotta actually let the glue out. We'll see about setting this guy right in line. Sure. Yeah, that's working great. You're just getting the glue all over your hands. If you guys haven't noticed, when I do these videos, I just leave in all my struggle bus stuff instead of trying to look like, oh yeah, everything works out perfectly every time, because it always doesn't always work out perfectly every time. So I'm just going to put that screw in there like that so it stays aligned. And well, it looks like the glue is drying already, so I'm going to take the screw out. And we're going to let that sit for a hot minute. Well, I hate to say it, but adding that washer in there, and you can see it just a little bit there, we are dead on balls accurate for height. I mean, perfect height. You ever get a bloody nose? Yeah, well, this thing's been pouring out smoke fluid and laying on its side every time I put it on its side. So yeah, we're just going to plug that. All right, so I don't really like that this is floppy. So here's what I'm doing. I have bent a piece of copper wire. This is 18 gauge wire. I'm going to put it in here and then twist it here so it stays in place. Hell, I might as well do it right now. And then cut as close as I can to the knuckle head. This way, this whole kit and caboodle swivels as one piece. And then I am going to put a spring on it somewhere in underneath the engine just to so it stays centered, so it doesn't flop, because that'll drive me nuts. All right, looking down on this, it's like we'll have plenty of swing. We just need to figure out a spring, which I think I have a really good idea. I've got some springs I can work with. I can go from left to right in two separate places, actually hooking to the cow catcher, try to get this centered, but that's going to involve flipping the engine back over. And that, I don't really think, you know, I don't think it looks bad. I don't think it looks too big. I have no problem with it whatsoever, to be honest with you. A little bit of black paint on the copper wire and we'll be fine. So yeah, let's flip it over and figure out a spring, I guess. Okay, so what I ended up having to do was take the whole coupler assembly out, and while I was at it, I threw some oil on there because it doesn't really move like super sloppy, and I want it to be sloppy in order for the springs to do their job. The reason why I took it out is so I could tie the springs actually straight to the cow catcher part that swivels. So we're going to try to tie them off on either end and see what happens, I guess. Well, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but I think it's going to work. Seems to spring right back to center. Let's see if we can get a better view here. So let's cover some stuff up. All right, I got gloss black. It says it right there, gloss black. And I'm not going to use a paintbrush that's got the brushes actually free. I'm going to use this old brush because then I can use it like a marker. So all I'm going to do is take the lid off after I shake this up and then spray some into the lid and then dip into it. All right, so here's what we got here. Just sprayed it into a can, or the container from the Kadee, actually. So let's paint this up. Okay, well that didn't take long. I touched up the hoses too, and I changed my mind. I'm just gonna leave the coupler black. So it doesn't look bad. It's not super bright and shiny and in your face. And we're springing back to where we need to be for the most part. So let's flip that down where it belongs to Mick. And let's run it. Let me say we mount a camera on that car. See what it looks like. Yes, we changed cars. Those are 10-foot curves. Nice. I'd say it works.